Hello, rare game tubers, and welcome to a new series with me, BlueAnkylo. As you can likely tell by the video and the title of the video, I suppose, we're playing Shining Force 3, a game no one knew even existed. So I've got lots to talk about, and I'm going to consider this first episode more of an episode 0 and an introduction. To some degrees, it's a video test to make sure this looks acceptable on YouTube. And secondly, there's actually quite a lot to talk about of this game, and once we actually start playing, the actual starting cutscene takes a long time, so I want to save that for, tomorrow, the next episode. Episode 1, properly. So anyway, we are playing, I am recording this, of course, on a Sega Saturn emulator, because actual Sega Saturns don't exist. And technically, this is Shining Force 3 Part 1, Scenario 1, technically. This specific game was released in English way back when, on the console that didn't exist. But it did actually come out to North America and I think Europe and all that at some point. So some of you may have known someone who had it. They were pretty rare though, not a whole lot of them actually sold, and actually getting a copy of one is very difficult. But unfortunately, it's only 1/3 of the actual series. Like, Shining Force 3 is more of a trilogy, and Part 1 is just the first third. Sorry for the black scan lines. I actually turned scan lines off. Those weren't there the last time I made a test recording. One of the difficulties here is Saturn emulation is not very popular compared to, like, some other consoles that actually exist, so it's kind of tricky to get this to work. But it does work, and I've played through it before, so I know I can record it. So yeah, like I said, some of the video settings I'll be tweaking as we go along a little bit, and I've got some stuff to play with. But anyway, to finish my story about the scenarios. 3 scenarios altogether. 1 was released in English, 2 were in Japanese only, never translated officially. Because the Sega Saturn didn't do anything, there was no official Sega translation for Scenario 2 and 3. So even if you had this specific game, you would never be able to see the entire story. Or I guess you could have imported it, and then because of region locking, you would have had to have a a Japanese Sega Saturn to play a Japanese. Actually, don't want to watch the introduction over and over again. In fact, let me just, I got save states here for a reason. I want to skip the introduction, but this is the game's actual map. So, to finish my story, Scenarios 2 and 3 you never would have been able to play unless you imported them and had an imported console as well. And because the emulation of the Sega Saturn wasn't, well, if you guys remember the history of emulation and stuff, the Nintendo and Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis were all fairly easy to emulate. Like, the computers at the time, as emulation was taking hold, it wasn't that difficult. Like, the hardware required wasn't too bad. But the N64, the PlayStation 1, the Sega Saturn all had very high hardware requirements. So emulators for those consoles, the early 3D ones, it took a long time for them to start showing up. And like I said, there's some good games on the Sega Saturn. Maybe 3 or 4, but like there wasn't a whole lot of interest in them, so I know like the development of these emulators has fallen a long way behind. Like the PlayStation 1 emulator, pretty solid. The N64 emulator, pretty good. This one, well, it's kind of hit or miss. So anyway, there's going to be a few like video related issues that we're going to have to work through. But I do have, and if you noticed at the beginning it said there's a shoot, I should go back to the beginning. What was I'll put the link in the description, but essentially a group of fans finally decided to translate all 3 scenarios. So technically Scenario 1 has been retranslated to match what they decided to do with Scenarios 2 and 3. So I'm going to be playing the official, I'm going to be playing the big time Shining Force 3 translations for all 3. These weren't even, they're still not even 100% complete, but they're a lot further along now than they were the last time I played through, which was 2 or 3 years ago, I think. And like the Scenario 3 ending wasn't actually totally finished, so like even I don't know exactly how the scenario, how the game ends, because when I got there wasn't full translation done. But now we should be good. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out their project. As far as acquiring the ISOs or CDs for the game, well, you guys know how stuff like that works. It's not officially legal or anything, so officially you need to go onto Craigslist and import a copy of the Japanese CDs, and you can use the North American one for the first game. In fact, you have to. You know, you can probably buy them on eBay for a few $100s, so yeah, go do that. But I'm sure if you know alternate methods, you can figure it out. I don't really want to get into it, really, because every now and then someone gets in trouble for talking about stuff like that. But anyway, I've got them all ready to go, and I am planning to do the full series through Scenario 1 to 3. Just to show off a little bit of the game, just so you guys are prepared for next episode. And just as a sort of video test. So it is actually in 3D. It's one of those early 3D console games. Which isn't bad. We can like zoom in, and I honestly don't think it looks terrible, but you know, this is what you're going to get if you're going to watch the whole series. The graphics aren't going to get any better than this, essentially. Other than that, what have we got? It's got to readjust the thing. We do have, like, keeping in mind, this is still a Shining Force game, so if you were a fan of Shining Force 2, it's still the same type of game. Like, as we can see here, we've got a priest with heal, a magician with blaze, a knight that's a centaur, and a swordsman as your hero with aggress. So it's very much the same as Shining Force 2, except it's split into 3 parts and it's 3D, and it probably spends more time in cutscenes than the last game. But, you know, it has the same basic core mechanics, and it really is a good game. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to down-talk it. It is good. But, of course, playing it is difficult because of the whole emulation and translation problems. But we're going to give it a shot. I would say it's relatively difficult as far as a game. Like, I don't want to spoil too much stuff for you guys. We'll go through the plot next episode. But for now, this is sort of how it will look. There'll be, I think it's, I can't remember if there's height involved in the battles. I think it's still kind of like a level playing field when you're doing, well, no, it's not. There is height. It's kind of like bare bones Final Fantasy Tactics of a sense when you're doing the battling system. Except, of course, it has the Shining Force 2 animations when they're fighting each other, unlike Final Fantasy Tactics. So it's a little bit, it's kind of a cross between Final Fantasy Tactics and Shining Force 2, I guess. Anyway, I think that's about it for my intro video. It's just a short one. I just wanted to get at sort of a technical demonstration, the fact that this is going to work. There's actually lots and lots of settings we can play around with. I think the scan lines that are flickering in every now and then, that I'm going to try to fix in between this and episode 1. So you shouldn't have to worry about that if I can figure that out. I don't know what's happening. That wasn't in there. The last test video I made didn't have those, so I'm not even sure what I've done. There is one option. I'll leave this, guys. I'm going to give you an option. This is the game playing at, as far as I can tell, normal speed. I'm trying to use the game to V-sync the video to the audio, and it should be... I should be playing and moving and talking to people at exactly the way it was meant to be played. No, I hate this place. But, Saraband is the best. But, there is an option I have, if I let the emulator run it at full speed. Now, I don't have an easy hotkey to switch around like this, but, probably the video just froze for you guys. It'll be back in a second. I do have the ability to sort of unlock the speed, and it'll play as fast as my computer will allow it to. So that will speed up the music and the ability to move around and talk to people. I'd like to see your guys' opinion on which one is better. If I played it on sped up mode, it will save a lot of time. But it does sort of mess with the music, and you are playing it. I think it's around double speed on my computer. It depends on how powerful your CPU is, mostly. Like, it's just running at 99% CPU here, and to be honest, that might even mess up the recording, so this is part of the test. But if it's possible, I could run it at higher speeds, at least for some parts of the game, especially if I'm backtracking. So, you know, you guys let me know what you think. If this is terrible, if you think this is a horrible idea, you can leave a comment. If you think, you know, you could probably handle this, I'm sure most people will just say, you Blue, pick whatever you like to do. But seriously, I'm open to some input. I could turn the message speed down a little bit if I was playing on high speed, for instance, and that would be fine, so that I'd get more time to actually read stuff. Other than that, I don't think there's much else I really want to talk about. It's a standard Shining... It's a lot like Shining Force 2, just with 3D and I'm pretty sure I can cover the emulation issues, and I know I've got the translations covered. So, yeah, that's it. Anyway, shorter video just to give you an opening to this. Next episode, we will start from the proper introduction, and we'll go through the actual story and what the heck's going on in this game, in this world. So, thanks for watching. Hope you guys are excited for this one. I've been sort of planning this Let's Play for a couple years now, and I think it's finally time to give it a go. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to some feedback in the comments, and I won't be recording episode 1 for a couple days, so there's your chance to speak up. And yeah, we'll see you later. So hope you guys are excited for this one too, and I'll see you for the proper start next time. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.